With crypto struggling to hold $30,000 this week, some people are saying the next big leg down is imminent. And also with the new FedNow super fast payment system, is there even any need for crypto anymore? Well, fear not, as what we'll be covering in this video will show that crypto has never been stronger, and even with the pullbacks and the drops, we are right on track in this bull market. Now, if we just take our eyes away from checking prices every 2 minutes and zoom out a bit, we can see that crypto is already dominating 2023. As of right now, if you were investing in bonds are up about 0.5%. Now, stocks are having a great year and they are up almost 20%. Gold is having a great year, up 7%, but it's crypto leading the pack, currently at 55%. And so think about it, even if the crypto market gets cut in half right now, it's still the best performer this year. So now that we have the right perspective in place, on to today's video, and we'll be looking at how is the bull market progressing so far, just how high can crypto prices go this time around, and then the 5 biggest developments that have happened ever since the epic news of BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF. Okay, so first up, how is this bull market comparing against the previous bull runs, and just how high can crypto be going this time around? And so, starting up with one of my favorite charts. And the reason I like this chart so much is that it's pretty much got everything you need. It clearly shows the massive bull runs that crypto can go on. It shows the bear markets and crypto winters. It takes into consideration the halving event which happens here, and it also shows the multiples of how high crypto can go, all in one nice chart. So a couple things to bear in mind. The first one is about data recency. So the further we go back, for me, the less important and relevant the data is. So the last cycle in green is much more relevant and similar to how today is than the very first cycle, which was the blue one. As this, if you think about it, was just the early adopters. It was a very small crowd. No one really knew that Bitcoin existed, and it went on to do an over 200x. So although great to see, very unlikely the crypto market will be doing that now that the prices of all the assets, the market caps, are so much higher. For me, it's much more useful to look at, let's say, the last cycle in green, and you can see this massive run that happened still from bottom to top was a 20x. So first cycle was a 200x, then you see diminishing returns. Next one was 100x. The last cycle just gone was a 20x. So I'd say, to be realistic, it's probably gonna half again, and we're looking at about a 10x. And from bottom to top, what does that give? Well, that gives a Bitcoin price of around $150,000 as a benchmark. And this also lines up with what Raoul Pal is saying, where he thinks it could be 3 times the size of the last market top. So the last market top, we got to about 3 trillion. So again, if that triples, that's about 10 trillion. And the figures being very similar. So as a rough rule of thumb, I'd say from bottom to top, you're looking at about a 10x. And currently, Bitcoin has doubled, sitting at a 2x. And then as of the next 3 to 6 months, even though I think the bull market rally could happen at any time this time around, we do also have to prepare for a drop. And last year, around this time, the market did go down by 50%, excluding what happened in COVID, as this was a bit of an anomaly. So this recent drop that is what you're looking at there. It really puts it in perspective. There is certainly room for this to be going down. Worst case, 30 to 50% before it starts really taking off. But also remember that bull markets happen at the very bottom. So this is very typical of an early bull market. There's still a lot of FUD. There's lots of fear about how things are going to play out. There's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of doubts. But that is exactly what happens in an early bull market, because the bull market starts here at the market bottom. So if you're feeling a little bit of FUD from this drop over the last week, this is perfectly normal and has happened nearly every single time. Now, on to the 5 biggest developments that have happened in the last couple of weeks, which say to me this is gonna be the biggest run yet. So, starting with Fidelity, as obviously we all heard that the massive news of BlackRock filing their ETF sparked lots of companies to follow suit, Invesco, Valkyrie. But let's not forget, Fidelity is also one of the biggest asset managers in the world, and they too want to get involved. So although BlackRock stole the limelight, Fidelity by itself is still huge news. And something we have to cover was Valkyrie's Bitcoin ETF. As did you know that the ticker symbol for this ETF is BRR, as in money printer go BRR. Now, I'd love to see the look on Gary Gensler's face as he starts going through the application for this Bitcoin spot ETF. I have to say, a very brave decision from Valkyrie. But that's the news that you did know. Now, on to some that you may not have seen. Did you know that in Europe, after a 12-month delay, we're about to get our first proper Bitcoin spot ETF where it's backed by actual Bitcoin? So this is great news for Europe, and this is the BlackRock effect, which also happened at the other side of the world. Did you know that this then spurred on Australia, their asset management firm Monochrome, to put in their Bitcoin ETF application as well? So the BlackRock news literally started a chain reaction all around the world. And let's not forget, another one of the mega asset managers is Vanguard. In fact, just take a look at this. Now, we all know BlackRock is the largest, and this is just the Google search from today saying they've got $8.5 trillion of assets under management. Now, Fidelity is another titan at $4.5 trillion, but Vanguard is also another investment titan, $7 trillion. And this was the company that gave birth to the very first index fund. So we've been waiting to see what's going to happen with Vanguard, and they have been buying Bitcoin mining stocks to the tune of $500 million. So Vanguard also getting involved $500 million worth of Riot blockchain and Marathon Digital shares. And the one thing that I pray for each night is that Vanguard launches a crypto ETF or index fund where you buy into the top 10 or top 20 assets and you can buy the whole market, reducing or eliminating the risk of just trying to pick the winners. Next up, did you know that Japan's largest banks have been collaborating to introduce a stablecoin on the Cosmos chain? And this is something that I keep reiterating, is that the banks are all going to be involved in some way or another in the next bull market, which is huge. Which brings us nicely on to the next piece. And this is that the third largest bank in France, Société Générale, and they also have over $1 trillion of assets under management. This is the first bank that have been given the green light to custody digital assets. So here it is, guys. You're going to be able to purchase, buy and sell and store your crypto with a bank. This is the next big thing, opening the door to an avalanche of new customers. And finally, we had the news that Binance has completed their integration of Bitcoin's Lightning Network. So this is Bitcoin's layer 2, making Bitcoin also super fast and super cheap to use. Now, I believe currently at launch, this is still quite expensive to use, but remember, this is only just going live, and I think it will get resolved. But the Lightning Network opens up Bitcoin to the masses, and anything to do with the Lightning Network, especially the largest exchange integrating, is massive news. And so ultimately, each cycle is playing out in a slightly different way, but I do think it's only a matter of time until the next big rally comes. And what's exciting is that it could come at any time. And if we do get a 30 to 50% final pullback, then I personally will be loading up. As remember, this time around, we're going to have BlackRock, Fidelity, and Vanguard involved this time around. Banks going from currently blocking you to all of a sudden opening their doors and offering you a safe place to buy and store your crypto. Institutions will be taking their positions, and the number of users will be going from about 300 million up to 1 billion. And as a big bonus, if Robert Kennedy becomes the next president, then the dollar will be backed by Bitcoin, and Bitcoin will become capital gains tax free. Nice. So there you are, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Now let me know how you think this bull market is progressing below, and if you have any burning questions or queries or requests, then remember we're trying out the new SuperThanks commenting system. To make sure your question or comment gets read and replied to, simply use the paid super thanks below, and a big thank you in advance. And for now, just to say, if you did enjoy anything in the video, then drop a like, and a big thank you to everyone who does, and I'll see you next week in the next video. Bye for now.